Hello and welcome to the Manifest to Live Life Golden Show. This is episode 99. What is fear costing you and how to cash in on faith and manifest a life that is fearless? Um, I am I feel like I have a lot to offer on this subject because I have worked through a lot of fear in my life and I want to love and support you through whatever it is that you're experiencing if it has something to do with fear. One of the greatest things that you can do with fear is look it in the face. And I can tell you from absolute experience when we were going through our foreclosure on our home many, many years ago. Gosh, it's like been so long ago now, when we were going through that and we were facing, a possible losing of the home that we lived in, the home that we raised our family in, there were real visceral feelings of fear every single day of my life for 5 years. We lived in foreclosure for 5 years. So that visceral fear that we lived with was always under the surface. And we worked really hard not to look at it. And we worked really hard not to talk about it. And we worked really hard to, pretend it wasn't there. And when you do that, what you resist persists. So that fear that was this underlying heaviness within us, I believe created a lot more financial difficulties than was necessary because we were so afraid and so afraid to look at what we were actually going through and what we were actually facing. Now, it didn't actually manifest having our home taken away from us because I had made strong decisions in that. I made a decision that I would give my home back when I was ready, and that's exactly what happened. But because we were in a low vibrational place underneath, I believe a lot of things happened: bankruptcy, not being able to pay our bills, getting our lights shut off. All those things were a massive momentum in the fear we refused to look at. So if you have a lot of stuff like that going on and you're not looking at it, it's time to get honest with yourself, first of all. And you have my book, Mindful Manifestations Secrets Daily Guide and Journal, to open this up for yourself, to ask the right questions, to really engage with what is blocking you? What is blocking the manifestations that you want to create from? Where is that fear? Because you all know fear is false evidence appearing real. So it's not even real. And when we start to look at it, that's when we start to dissipate it, when we start facing it head on. I tell people all the time that are going through like really financial struggles, deal with your shit. Call your creditors, call your car company, do whatever you can to be in your power. If you try to ignore things, they will take your car out of the driveway. I promise they will. They did it to me twice. So face things head on, deal with your stuff, and don't work on just pretending that it's not there, because that fear is real. Inside of you, that fear is real, and it actually becomes a visceral feeling. So where do fears come from? You have traumas, you have wounds, you have past experiences, you have other people's traumas and wounds, other people that are giving you fears all the time. I can't tell you how many people that we told we were, and we didn't tell many because of this. We would tell them that we were moving to California and they told us we were crazy. There's a drought there. We have had the rainiest freaking winter I've ever seen here. There is snow beyond. I'm sure you've seen it on Facebook. But one of my intentions when we moved here, it was like 105 degrees. It was so hot and everything was dried up and it felt like the desert. And I was like, oh man, what did we do? But my intention was to end the drought. I know that sounds crazy and I should not take credit for that. But if I'm creating my own reality and I don't pay attention to the drought and I trust and believe and I have faith in the rain, then that's what I'm going to experience. And you have that power as well with anything, with absolutely anything. Recently, I actually love conducting weather. I've done this throughout my life experience, and you have to be really clear and you have to be really detached from outcomes, because putting yourself out there with the weather and saying I'm going to control the weather is that's like witchcraft, right? But recently my kids came to visit, and the weekend that they were going to be here was supposed to be total rain, and I just wiped that clear of my mind. I didn't look at the weather report again, and we manifested one of the best weeks in California that we've had in a long time. So we got to go to the beach twice, and it was amazing. But you can't do that if you're fearful. You cannot be a strong manifester in fear. The fear and manifesting are two different ends of the spectrum. Fear is always focusing on what you do not want. Faith and manifesting is always focusing on what you do want, and it's positive expectation that you are going to create just that or even better. So when it comes to this was interesting. I Googled a little bit, love Googling, how fear really affects us, like what fear really does to us. It interrupts processes in our brains that allow us to regulate emotions. So you can't regulate emotions. You're actually in a place where you have no control over your emotions. That's what fear does. Uh, it's it keeps us from being able to read nonverbal clues, so we become less perceptive when we are in fear, and other information presented to us that could actually assist us in creating solutions. So it actually defies solution mode. It defies us from tapping in and tuning into our intuition and the wisdom channel, that wisdom channel that you have. I had a post on Facebook today about the wisdom channel that we all have the ability to access when we quiet our minds and put ourselves in higher state awareness. That higher mind consciousness is always going to connect us with wisdom. When you are in higher mind, higher state consciousness, you're not in fear anymore. You are above the fear, because fear is a very low, dense vibration that often shows up actually in the root chakra. It's in the lower parts of the body, those survival chakras, the ones that are in the bottom base of your body. Because it shows up lower, when you pull your energy up and you pull yourself into higher mind, you are detaching from the fear. So the other form of fear is that frequency, right? So it's that radio station that you're dialing into. The radio station that you dial into that has fear on it has a ton of different anxieties on it. It has a ton of different things. It has worst case scenarios. It has all the things that could go wrong, all the things that you don't want to happen. That's what that radio station of fear has for you on it. So you working to not go into the fear. Now, fear shows up, right? Like it shows up like you don't even know. It's nobody's business, right? How it shows up. It just all of a sudden you're just in fear. You feel anxiety, your heart is racing, you're sweating, you're feeling scared, right? Like you've got constriction in your lungs. Think about the physical attributes of fear within your body. Where do you feel it? First of all, let's get in touch with this fear. Where do you feel it? Is it in your stomach? A lot of people feel it in their stomach, right? As soon as you start to feel that fear, if you get in touch with it, if you can sit down, if you can take a couple of deep breaths and say, what am I so afraid of? You'll see that what you're so afraid of is unfounded, that it's only founded in that frequency where there are no solutions for you. So when you quiet your mind, when you take some deep breaths, when you ask for solutions, when you believe that solutions are coming, you will find them. Now, because we have wounds and traumas, right? We've got those things kind of still alive in our body. So energy often gets trapped in our body, especially when we have like a real trauma happen. Like maybe you've been threatened to lose your home, maybe there's a storm, maybe there's, crazy things happening in the predicament of you owning this home. Those things are being brought to your attention for a reason. And this is why the reason why we go through major traumas and take on these wounds is because we are being asked to up level. We are being shown how incredibly strong we are to work through these circumstances. And we're being shown at the end of them how things work out for us, how we are loved and supported, how we have the power to have wisdom, to create from wisdom, to be in solution mode, to, research things, to be in activation, to actually manifest our most optimal outcomes. So if you have been faced with something at like as a trauma, like I said, or an illness, let's take illness, because I know there's a lot of people that maybe have come through, a big thing like cancer, like a life-threatening thing. And you are scared that that cancer is going to return, because that's a lot of the diagnoses, that's a lot of things that you hear from the doctors, that's what you hear from other people. Oh, that person had, I know someone who had cancer 9 times. I'm like, wow, maybe she needs to pay attention to something, because cancer manifesting in your body is a call to wake up. It's a call to your power. If you have suffered from that, or if you are suffering from that, look up Anita Morjani, Dying to Be Me. She has the most incredible book on surviving cancer that I've ever read in my life. And she gives me so much strength and faith in knowing that our paths are laid out for us. And we have the ability to overcome and manifest whatever it is that we most want to manifest. So if you're going through that right now, I highly recommend her book. But if you have gone through that and you're still having some residual fears, that residual fear gets stuck in your body. So I remember really one of the most viscerally fearful times of my life was when I was moving into this home. And I remember we had a very short time to move. This has happened to us a couple times. Hopefully that was it. Hopefully that was the last time that happens. And we had about a week to find a home, and nothing was checking all the boxes. And I knew that settling was not going to work for me. I knew that wasn't what I was supposed to do, because the house that we were in, I had already settled on. I had already settled for that one. And it turned out to be a little bit of a nightmare. So when we were looking through, I think I looked at 25 homes. And when I finally found this home, and through that process, I felt fear in my body. I felt my heart racing. I felt very calm within my mind. I felt very calm, and I was very aware of what was happening in my body, but it wasn't driven by thoughts. I had disconnected enough from those neural pathways and loops that it was just something I needed to clear within my body. So I worked with my energy healer. We cleared it. I found the house, like after like kind of letting go and just being like, I trust. I found the house the next day, and we've been here ever since 5 years later. So in knowing this, in knowing that there may be visceral response within your physical body, you know that you have to go within, you got to do some journaling, you got to do some breathing, and you got to get it out. The other piece of this that is super duper important to understand is you got to let the shit go. The neural pathways and loops are there. They're there. They're ripe and ready. They're like those well-worn paths that are just ready for you to dive into and take that roller coaster ride. You have to become determined and diligent. You have to have a strong meditation game. So you have enough space to start choosing which thoughts you're going to choose to conduct from. When you do this, when you choose, when you start to become that choice, you can look at those fearful thoughts that are going to tune you into a frequency that you don't like the music of, and you can say, no, not right now. That's not what I want to think about. That's not what I want to manifest from. If you're thinking about something that's going to literally manifest what you don't want to manifest, now listen, your thoughts are not that powerful, but your emotions are. So if you keep conducting and sending this signal out to the worst case scenario, what do you think is going to happen? You got to draw back. You got to let go. You got to drop it. 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 You got to do it like 100,000 times maybe in order to release yourself from that neural pathway. And you got to choose better. So having a mantra is a great idea. Not right now. I'm not thinking about that. That's not happening to me. A decision is amazing. A decision sends the signal of that is not going down in my world again. I refuse to be part of that in my world. And that's where the real magic comes in, because you have set a very firm intention in the universe, and that signal starts to go out. And before you know it, you see a lot of evidence around you that keeps you safe and protected. So if it's something like a storm, I know there's a lot of people that live in stormy areas, and that can be very scary. Especially if you've lived through a really drastic one, is surrounding your house in angels, surrounding you, protecting you. And that goes for people that you love, different situations. You can surround those things in love and light and angelic energy and be protected from them, because a couple things happen. You're drawing in angelic energy. We have a non-physical realm we can call on. We've got like this army of support that's just like waiting for us to call on them. So that's one, and that's incredibly powerful. And two, you are tuning out. You're tuning out from the fears and the low vibrational energies that conduct. You don't want to conduct from that anymore. So it's really a massively letting go game more than anything else. It's letting each thought go one by one, making that decision, just like I did with my house. I'm like, oh, they're not taking my house. I had to make that decision to live through that time and to do it without losing my mind, and to make that strong decision, knowing that it came on the heels of us manifesting our dreams, was huge. Because if we got removed from our home too soon, before we had the resources to actually move with, I knew that was going to be bad. So I had to make that very firm decision that was all encompassing of our dream of moving across the country. So whatever it is, whether it's finances or health, you can manifest anything you want by your focus, by your determination, and by your focus. So this may be a super short show today, just because this is an important message that packs a punch, and I really want you to listen to it again. I really do, because fear is this false evidence appearing real, and it doesn't allow you to live your life fully. If you are constantly living in fear, you are not living your life from the greatest capacity of joy and health. It was funny this morning. I was at the gym, and I was talking to the woman who works in the locker room, and she was like, "Oh, do you go tanning?" And I was like, "No." I said, "We actually got a couple of beach days in." I said, "This is all natural. The sun loves me." And she's like, "Oh no, the sun doesn't love me. My sister got cancer. My mom had a melanoma." And none of those things had anything to do with her. However, now she says she slathers poison on her body if she ever goes out in the sun. And I was like, I refuse to ever live that way. And you can disagree with me all day long, but my ultimate feeling, right? Because we can't really, we don't really know the truth, right? We don't really know that the sun causes cancer. We've just been told that, right? So if that's the truth, and I can create my own reality, then my reality is that the sun is really good for me, that vitamin D is really good for me, that sunblock is not so good for me. I don't spend so much time in the sun that I burn. I actually don't really burn. But I spend enough time in the sun where I feel like I'm healthy. And that's the signal that I send to my body from the sun. And I don't want to live a life where I can't enjoy sunshine. To me, that's just bonkers, because, vitamin D is everything. 10 minutes in the sun can change your whole disposition. So that goes along with everything, you guys. Everything you are experiencing, there are solutions to all of it. And you no longer have to live in fear. I promise. You do not have to live in fear. If you see it, if you feel it, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. The problem that you may have, okay, so all of the things that are happening to you that may have created fear in the past are here to awaken you. They're here to awaken the power you have within. So when you initially attracted whatever that was, the cancer, the storm, the house foreclosure, whatever it was that you did to attract that, you are no longer that. I want you to hear that. You are no longer that. You are completely, almost knocked my microphone over because I'm so passionate about this. You are completely different from the person who attracted that initial disease or whatever it is that is causing you fear. So now you have to become that new. You got to become that new identity. I am healed. I am whole. I am strong. I am powerful. I'm a freaking warrior. That is what your situation that created fear for you. Now you are so much better equipped you have more confidence. You have more fortitude. You have more information. You have more perseverance. You have literal warrior status from what you've lived through. So you need to take all of that, put it in a basket, strap it on your back, and walk around in that power. Remember what you've lived through and become more from it, not less. We are not meant to become less, people. We are meant to become more. We are meant to expand and grow from our situations, not to shrink in fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real, and it no longer has to conduct in your life. So if you want to live from faith, here you go. Here it is. Everything that's happening to you is for your growth and expansion. Every time you see a situation that's not what you want, it is just clarifying what you do want. Your only job is to focus there, to focus on what you want to happen, and to release and let go of these fears. Acknowledge them. What am I so afraid of? What is my biggest fear? Ask yourself these big questions, and what you're going to find is they have no relevance in your life. They don't belong there. Because you are a powerful creator, you are a powerful manifester, and you have the ability to hone your focus. Because you have the ability to hone your focus, you have the ability to create anything, anywhere, anytime. So let's focus on what we want to expand. Let's release ourselves from these fears, and let's step and stand into a new place in life where we stop creating the same old bullshit and we start deciding what we want to happen. I just had a little bit of a crazy thing happen today, and I'm not ready to share it yet. But what I will say is getting up every day, activating energy, doing what you feel passionate about will pay off. I promise it will pay off. But it takes a couple of things. It takes letting go of the bullshit, letting go of the fears, letting go of the doubts, letting go of the low self-confidence. It takes a willingness to do something, to activate energy, to do something, to put yourself out there, to make decisions that are in alignment with what you want to create. Sometimes it takes a giant leap of faith. Sometimes it does. I have a friend right now who just quit her job after 4 years, and now she's doing the coolest stuff. Like, she's getting her real estate license. She started a dog walking business, and she is like so busy. And her life all of a sudden is freedom because she didn't allow fear to be her conductor. She decided what she wanted. She let go of something that was holding her down, and she made a decision to take a leap of faith. And the universe, which co-creates with us, has shown her that it has her back, and it has yours as well. So whatever it is that you are looking to manifest from, whether it is a life of fearlessness, I want you to trust. You got to trust. You got to look at all the things that you've gone through. You have 100% success rate of coming out okay. We're all okay, right? So whatever it is that you want to manifest, I want you to focus there. I want you to become determined about it. I want you to activate the energy and let go of the fears. They're just thoughts. That's all they are. And they're connected and they're entangled with these belief systems that we can let go of, because a belief is just a thought we keep thinking. So as you let them go, as you drop them, as you become more determined, you are going to become more. And soon enough, you will have the faith and you will be able to tune into the faith that creates world, the faith that allows you to move forward every day in a way of peace, of inner peace, of real inner peace, and of knowing that even through all the turmoil, even through the disease, even through all of the wounds that you have encountered in your life, you have shown yourself how powerful you are, and you have shown yourself how supported you are. And that's what's important. That's what we need to focus on. And we need to look back over those situations and go, oh, damn, I did that. I did that. I manifested that, and take a little bit of credit, and then give some credit to that co-creation partnership that you have with the universe that allows you to walk in faith and not in fear. All right. I love y'all. Let me know if you have questions on my Manifest to Live Life Goldyn page on Facebook. My books are available on Amazon. Mindful Manifestation Secrets is a short guide to manifesting. You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll love it. It'll change your life. And then the one that just came out is Mindful Manifestation Secret Daily Guide and Journal. That is like an interactive, that's going to help you really dig in. And then I also have Quantum Speak for Parents if you're looking for law of attraction in parenting. I got 4 girls, and yeah, it's real. Let me tell you, it's real. All right. I love y'all. Peace.